Hi guys and girls, Rose Burnett here from Mind, Body, Soul Balance, and I'm hoping you can hear me. I've got the, I'll bring you a bit closer, I've got the ocean behind me, and it's been pretty stormy here, but I'm out doing my usual walk along the coast, and it's time to balance and ground myself, What I wanted to talk to you today is I often get asked on my YouTube channel when I do my inspirational tarot readings. Often what comes up is people asking questions around their life path, life purpose, and how do they know what it is. And I'm going to say to you, if that is you and you're asking that question, you're not really tapped into who you are at an intrinsic level, and how do you tap into that core part of yourself when you're actually listening to your heart space, And I guess it's about taking baby steps, It's about taking one step at a time. You've got to raise your level of consciousness, your level of consciousness on this planet. And how do you do that? Well, I think often let's start with how we come to a place like that, because often we're struggling with the day-to-day stuff and just trying to make a living, and everything else comes in front of, in terms of practicalities of life coming in front of everything else, and you often don't have that time to stop and pause and take that time for self to really tap in and tune into who you are. And often it's a matter of changing your values and prioritizing your time so that you do take time out for self and you do engage in activities that light you up. And there's lots of things you can do even if you're strapped for cash, There's lots of things you can do, like getting out here in nature. And connecting with nature and spirit, because as humans we've always had this deep connection to Mother Earth and to nature as well as the universe, So first up, it's about raising that level of consciousness within yourself and not looking for answers outside yourself. Everything that you need to know is actually within. You can't go and look for validation or justification or answers from other people, because everybody's on a different path. They all have different values and they all have different ways of being and things that light them up. So often when this question comes up, it's about not being that emotional intelligence that you need to get to a higher place of not only vibration but understanding of who you are at your core level. Comes from improving in the areas of your life around your emotions. And often when this happens, you can be pushing your emotions down, not listening to your heart space, the things that are important to you, and putting a lot of other things in front of yourself, including other people, including relationships, including work, And it comes back to a place of coming to being more emotionally vulnerable, even if it's just with yourself, acknowledging the things that light you up. So the question about life path, life purpose, well, I can share with you my experiences, right? If you don't know, I'm a certified transformational coach. I studied that back in 2012. I've been doing personal development for years. The Tony Robbins, the Brian Tracy's, I've always followed kind of a personal development path, regardless of what else I'm doing, whether I'm in a corporate role or whether I'm working for myself in business. And, I've had many businesses over the time. And in terms of life path, life purpose, I think it changes. It changes for me from one decade to another, because we grow so much in our experiences. And we also learn to step out of our comfort zone a lot more and strive for bigger goals, And things that seemed impossible for us become possible. And how do we take an idea or our imagination and turn it into something that's real and plausible and practical in this world, And often it's not so much about not knowing what it is that you want, it's about not knowing how to make it happen, So, and I also think, don't limit yourself with just one life path, life purpose. I have so many things that I find joyful that light me up. If you don't know, I'm actually a web developer. I'm an advanced, quite a highly technical, in the technical space. I'm also spent years doing digital marketing, and that stuff lights me up. Right now, I only use it for myself because I've spent many years doing it for other businesses and helping them out, and even to the point of coaching them, and helping entrepreneurs out in that space. But I know now, in this point in my life, I'm early 50s, and 40s. My 40s was that decade of helping other businesses expand themselves in terms of their own businesses and their own marketing, getting their products and services out there. In my 30s, I established a global business in fashion jewelry design and wholesale bead trade when the bead frenzy was going off, And it was something that just started out from an idea. I had $500 in my pocket. I had no idea where it was going to go from the beginning, but I just knew I had this idea, and it just grew and grew and grew. And I think for me that was the time of being highly creative, and I was totally in my abundance flow, yeah. And had like nearly 700 retailers around the world buying my products, as well as about another 3,000 or more direct customers, yeah. And it didn't just happen by itself, but it started with an idea, and it had started with continually getting out of my comfort zone, but listening to my heart space about what lit me up. And you know, there were so many naysayers around me, and I just blocked it all out and focused on what it was that made me joyful. And often that's about what life path, life purpose is. It's about doing things that are outside the norm, that you think are impractical, that other people think are improbable, yeah? Because it challenges their norms and they're not comfortable with it. And this journey isn't for everybody. You know, you might be somebody that is, if you don't know what your life path, life purpose is, it might be that you're happy doing a comfortable 9-to-5 job where you're totally financially secure, yeah, but you find other things in your personal time that light you up. It might be that you start doing a dance class or an art class, or go to yoga, or you know, to get in touch with your higher level of consciousness and who you are. You know, having great friendships and having wonderful relationships with your children might be your life path, life purpose, is to create beautiful human beings on this planet, yeah? It's going to be different for everybody. And I guess what I want to say to you is that don't limit yourself. You know, some of the other things that light me up, wow, I love writing, I love creating. I'm a massive video editing production fan, you know. I like creating inspirational posts that I can share about in terms of life experiences, but to help inspire and motivate other people. But I just find the creative process, it's often the process of creating, not even the output, yeah, that makes us so joyful. And that's what you got to remember. Often it's the journey that is the experience, not the end game, yeah. I mean, the end game's delicious if you can tap into your abundance flow, and that takes time. It doesn't just happen, yeah. I think from my own experiences, when you run with an idea, it takes at least 12 months to take off, yeah, to set that foundation, to get that groundwork happening. You know, I can share with you about my YouTube channel. It wasn't doing much before. I was plugging my mind, body, soul balance programs and my exercise programs and inspirational, motivational videos. But it wasn't until I'd had the message for about 12 months from Spirit, because I'm deeply spiritual, connected to my highest spirit guides, yeah. And I'd be getting the message for about 12 months to do the tarot readings. And, you know, I started them on the 1st of January. And as of this morning, I woke up my little peeping eyes because I knew we were about to hit 5,000 subscribers and followers, which is totally awesome and totally blessed that so many people have gotten so much out of my readings. But we've actually hit 2 million minutes of watch time. It's like well over, I think around about 33,000, 34,000 hours of watch time since January 1st of 2018. Pretty friggin' awesome, yeah? And it came from an idea. Oh, we've got a helicopter going past, just bear with it, yeah? Because I don't want to interrupt this video. But you know, it came from an idea, and it's yet to tap into its true abundance flow, but it's on its way, yeah? And it's something that's joyful, that lights me up so much. And I'm so grateful that the people that watch my tarot readings and my inspirational videos get so much out of them. And that's the point. My point is, you know, my life path, life purpose here on this planet in my 50s. We got a plane going over. Hang on. We'll let it go past you. Enjoy the scenery for a minute, because it's going to be way too loud for you to hear me. Yeah, it's straight overhead. It's a helicopter. Okay. But in my 50s, I know that, you know, I'm in a place of the highest vibration I probably have been for my entire life, yeah, in terms of connecting to spirit, in terms of connecting to who I am. And, you know, often that happens when you have some gut-wrenching moments in your life, and you have to take a good hard look at yourself and go, things have to change. What do I need to change about myself? And it's always that inner work that you need to do to get to a higher place of not only emotional intelligence, but also working at a higher place of consciousness. I actively set my environment up so that it is in the most positive vibration. I avoid a lot of negativity in my life because that's how I choose to live, yeah. I don't choose to absorb it, and I'm very mindful of who's in my circle, that they're positive and supportive. Sometimes it doesn't often happen that you can maintain that, particularly if you've got family and friends that are used to being negative, but it's about making conscious choices about where you place yourself, yeah. So I guess what I want to say to you is it's baby steps, one step at a time. Do something. Do something in the next week, the next day, the next month that gets you out of your comfort zone, where you start exploring. All the birds have come out now, hilarious. Where you start exploring who you are and what lights you up. In terms of my own spirituality, how did I get onto my path? Well, I had to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of healing, heart healing, because of a relationship breakdown. But it led me onto a path of knowing that I wanted more. And often it's the knowing that you want something more in your life, yeah. And in terms of my own psychic development, you know, I tried quite a few things in terms of life path, life purpose, just on a personal note to see what I found lit me up and how it connected to me. I was looking at something yesterday and my journey, and it started off with doing Reiki level 1 first. And then I did a psychic development course to tap into my spirit guides and my spirituality a bit more. And then I did Reiki level 2. Then I did sound therapy level 1, which I've always loved sound therapy as in terms of my own personal healing, because it's just amazing, yeah. But I did it and I thought, well, I liked it, but it's not for me, you know. Like, I've never been musically inclined in that regard whatsoever. And I think I kind of did that and went, yeah, not for me. It's going to be, you know, there's masters at that, and I'm not going to be one of them. And then I did the Advanced Reiki, and I will go on to do my masters, but I'm not ready for it yet. And all of it helped me become more aware of what it is that I wanted to do. So it's about taking those steps to just try different things, yeah. And I guess if I can say anything to you is, as you gain more life experience from one decade to another, your life path, life purpose changes. Don't be stuck in rigidity about thinking what that is, because as you change, so does what your heart and your soul longs for. But it's about taking those baby steps to get more in touch with you. All right, I hope this helped. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more videos like this. Check out your tarot readings for your star signs, because they're not only a mix of tarot reading, they're also a mix of transformational coaching, yeah, and inspiration. And for now, much love, much light. Namaste. Bye.